Hey, welcome back to Cream City Dreams. I'm your host, Megan Schultz, and this is the podcast where I talk with incredible Milwaukee women who are lighting up our city, doing phenomenal things for our community, and just overall making this a better place to be. This week, I don't have a guest. I am just wrapping up my summer season and letting you know what's coming for Cream City Dreams. What's next as I think about season 9 and beyond, and what that beyond might look like. Happy September, listeners. How has it been 3 months since this season began in June? And now here we are. There's a cool crisp in the air that says fall is on its way. School is starting. Time to dig out those sweaters from the winter box and get ready for a season of rooting down. I love this concept. Ever since I learned about this idea of rooting down, that plants and trees and all things go a little dormant in the winter. They root down. They take the time to pause, to reflect, to get ready for bursting forth again next year in the cycle that will be spring and summer. And that's sort of what I'm doing. I am going to take a hiatus on Cream City Dreams for a bit. I don't know what that means or how long that will be or what that will look like when I return. But I have a big milestone birthday this coming weekend. I'll be 50. And that has given me lots of time, knowing that this was coming, to reflect and to think about my own rooting down and what that looks like for me personally. When I am out and about and I tell people that I have a podcast, obviously the first question I get is, what is your podcast about? And when I tell people I interview women every week, people often ask, especially if they're local, well, who's been your favorite guest? And that is such a hard question because I have loved all of these interviews. Honestly, there really isn't a favorite. There are things that people have said that have stuck with me. There are conversations I've had that have really left me thinking and feeling and very inspired. But as I think about 8 seasons of Cream City Dreams and what I've loved about this, I often answer that question of who is your favorite with, well, I don't have a favorite, but I have a bias in the kinds of women that I bring on. And what I'm noticing about myself after 8 seasons is that the women I love to talk with are women who feel strongly about building community. And they do that by bringing people together. They do that by connecting people themselves. They do that by creating, and with their creations, build community. But community is key because I think in creating that community, these women that I speak with are wanting to make Milwaukee and the wider world, but obviously this is a hyperlocal podcast about Milwaukee women. So these women want to make our community a better place to be, a more inclusive place for everyone. And they do that through their gifts of what they offer. Last week, in case you missed it, was the recap of season 8 women. And I could just look at these women alone and talk about how each and every one of them is trying to make our community more inclusive, more loving, more welcoming, and more connected. So that's my bias when I think about the women who are making a difference in Milwaukee, the women I want to talk to. And for me, it keeps coming back to 3 words that have been my mantra for years. I think I've talked about this on a previous podcast. Gather, connect, create. I think those 3 words are the fundamental building blocks of community, are what keep us feeling like we belong somewhere, that we matter. And those 3 words are coming up so much for me. And so as I think about what's next, That's where my mind is going. How can we gather more? How can we create more? How can we connect more? And that is something I'm hoping to offer in the next iteration of Cream City Dreams. It's still a fledgling idea in my head. I'm still working out details. I don't know what that'll look like when I come back, but those 3 words are really resonating with me right now as I think about what I want to do and what I want to offer through this podcast. So listeners, watch this space and honestly watch my newsletter, because those are the folks who will hear it first. I do not spam my newsletter list, I promise, but that is where I will announce what is coming next. So if you want to stay in the know, if you want to follow along the next iteration of the pod, head over to creamcitydreams.com and sign up for the newsletter. All right, I want to end this last episode of Season 8 with 2 poems, mostly that I need to hear for myself, that I love as a reminder of where I'm headed as I turn 50. Maybe you need to hear these too. I think they're just lovely reflections on what's important. One of them is by an old favorite of mine, Maya Stein. It's called You Don't Have to Be Everything. And I think I've actually read this before, but it's such a poignant reminder that I need it again for myself, and hopefully you do too. So, you don't have to be everything. You don't have to live every day as if it were your last or your first, exclaiming at the miracle of a blade of grass. You don't have to like everyone you meet or be likable to everyone you meet, or sweep the stairs with the reverence of a monk, or talk to the lettuce while you're tearing off its leaves for your dinner salad. You don't have to make your pie crust from scratch, or fold your laundry geometrically, or make promises to anyone, even yourself. You don't have to have exactly 14 items in your grocery basket to use the express lane. You don't have to be ruthless in your flossing. You don't have to write another book, or any book for that matter. You don't have to win. Instead, practice tepid affection, mediocre effort, a middling investment. See what it's like to be half-hearted in gesture, in impact, in desire. Becoming directionless, formless as a jellyfish moving through the shallows. Drift ambiguously. Notice the asymmetries everywhere, the quintet of bushes across the street, the unpinned downable shades of an intemperate sky, the unpatterned yelping of a distant dog. You are here among this imperfect math. You are shifty as the weather. Maybe there are no problems to solve, no holes that need filling. You don't have to be everything. You can be one thing or no thing. Shapeless as new putty, thin as unsalted broth, even without a name to call what it is you are doing here, you are here still. You are still here. I love that reminder. We don't have to be everything, just be here. And then, lastly, from Wendell Berry, a short poem called Our Real Work. It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And that when we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sings. I love that one too. I'm thinking that the real journey begins now for me. Happy birthday to me. Thanks for listening. If you are still here with me on this last episode of Season 8, I am grateful for you. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. I have loved every moment of it, and I would love to hear if you've enjoyed it as well. Drop me an email, megan@creamcitydreams.com. Join the newsletter at creamcitydreams.com so I can keep you up to date with what's next. And heck, if you really want to, it's the last chance to buy me a coffee. You can do that from the website as well, on the Buy Me a Coffee button. Until then, Milwaukee, like I've said for 8 seasons, keep on dreaming.